So, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to rock? K-Rob's a big fan of Kiss. Do you guys like Kiss? So someone called me the other day and they were trying to come up with a good idea for a fundraiser. They need to have a fundraiser show. They said, Chicken, you're showing what's a good idea for a fundraiser show. I said that they're in New York, they're in Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn there has to be a Kiss cover band. And it's a Kiss cover band of midgets. So I told them that they should get to Kiss, the midget Kiss, it's called Little Kiss. They should get Little Kiss to play. And then that should be the musical entertainment. Then they should build a wrestling ring. And then they should have a bunch of albinos vomit into the wrestling ring. And then have other midgets wrestle in albino vomit to a Kiss cover band. That was what I had for them when they asked me that. I thought I'd share that with you.
Are they going to do it?
They don't even play?
No,
they lip sync?
I saw them live with the Lizard Man.
My God. Oh, that's even better, actually, that they just lip sync. You don't really play. Actually, I kind of like that more. And let's all gather around the fire here in my living room and listen to what Dr. Hal has to say. Come on, now. Terrified. Dear friends, the Ask Dr. Hal show exists partly as a public service. We, like nature itself, want to fill a vacuum. Thank you. A vacuum in your lives. One, perhaps, which you never knew existed. And this vacuole, we hope we will stuff with the roughage of knowledge without blocking the philosophical esophagus. This question has the word specimen written on the front of it 5 different times.
Okay, I don't want to touch it. You can read it.
No, I think that they were trying to figure out how to spell specimen.
No.
Which, if you know me, you know how absolutely hysterical that is. Everything is fun. If you were really smart, you'd spell it all phonically. Oh my
God. Phonics, eh?
Is there an age when people outgrow saving seats? They didn't even write the word specimen.
Some people, this is 2 years old, but they never outgrow having seats saved for them. No one is so altruistic as to refuse the kind offer of a saved seat. No counting.
Some people like to be tied to a chair and beaten with a wet leather bag in a dark room.
Private lives here.
This is from Mr. Shirley over here.
Oh, John Shirley, ladies and gentlemen, famous writer.
Reverend John Shirley.
All right.
Is the lesser of evils? Man, for a writer, you've got bad handwriting.
Evils? Are we at that terrible financial point that we now have to rent out evils, which used to be available to everyone?
The lesser of evils.
Yeah.
Is the lesser of evils?
Yes, Saul Lesser, the Hollywood producer.
No, the lesser, like as in not more.
If we can.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. It's kind of an intellectual salon, but you've got a hillbilly problem. Yeah.
Well, what's the whole...
Hey, I ain't paying any rent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got hillbillies. They live in that trailer up there. Sometimes the sound of our show brings them out like a swarm of hayseed hornets or backwood bees. There's a terrible rumor, which you might misspell, that they've got a meth lab in there. Actually, that trailer is so tiny, I don't see how that could be possible.
Well, there's 13 of them living in there.
Yes. I forget what we were doing. Why don't we proceed with a Lessor of Two Evils. It's a nuclear family unit in there.
Folly. Moby. Moxie. Millie. I don't know. I can't.
Let me see if I can penetrate this exotic orthography. Lesser of evils are the best we can hope for, politically or existentially. Why, yes, because no one is not besmirched by the sooty fingers of evil. It is the human condition to to be a participant in original sin, the sin of Adam. As you know, in Adam's fall, we sinned all. But without the peccatum adae, the original sin, there would be no development or growth, and we would all be bovine cud-chewing saints. Is this what we want? I think not. But today, we must not expect an unnatural, and if I dare say so, inhuman perfection from our elected representatives until we have the scientific know-how to elect radar-activated robots to rule us in our every particular. Actually, I just as soon have people do it with loud systems of checks and clashing stripes, or checks and balances.
So Rinaldi,
how about that? There's no yelling at the stage.
Chicken ran for
intellectual salon. I have more or less good dental hygiene.
Well, bully for you. It's a good thing. You know, people used to die of bad dental hygiene. If you examine the death rolls of 18th century cities, and I know I like to do that, you often see teeth written as the sole explanation for death. Because once they start going bad, they're awfully close to where you live, within the vault of the skull, behind that frontal bone.
So why is it that after even brushing, gargling, and sometimes flossing before bed, I wake up with such stinky breath? Stinky breath.
Stinky to you? Your own breath offends you? If that is the case, perhaps it's not that your breath is too bad, but that your nose is too long and overhangs your mouth, so that you are forced to inhale every exudation which biliously boils up from the stomach and its alchemical internal laboratory. But, on the other hand, if, as I suspect, you are lucky enough to have a partner there in bed with you who spends her time complaining about your bad breath, maybe it isn't the breath, after all, that you should see to, but something else, perhaps more personal and close to home. As for me, I like to think, nihil humanum alienum me puto. Nothing human is alien to me, although that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a brief pause in our show to hear from Mr. Frank Chu.
Testing. Okay. Well, I was Channel 7, Channel 5. I was filmed by their stations, and I met just about all the reporters from there, and CBS, ABC World News. They were also filming me of myself as the movie star and the TV star, and it was about those other populations in outer space and other planets, other galaxies with some more advanced populations. And it was about Bush and Clinton guilty with the 12 galaxies of populations, guilty of the impeachments and guilty of war crimes. So I'm trying to have it proven about 2010 or 2012 in Washington, D.C., and then try to sue the CIA for not paying me as that movie star too. Thank you.
God, eh? Shall we flee in lightning or in rain?
When will I meet the man of my dreams?
Well, that's really, not oh, well, you're still in smart.
P.S. I've already humbled my dreams. He doesn't even have to have all his teeth. If he has a job. You know, you're... Yeah.
Sam and Janet evening, you will see a stranger. You will see a stranger across a crowded room. And suddenly you'll know that you have met the one. And he's sort of like the Italian actor Rossano Brazzi. A big, beefy guy with a big, singing voice. But it might be a toothless hillbilly. You never know. Because you're not aware of all your dreams. Your dreams take place just beyond the veil of sleep and beyond consciousness. You can only remember those dreams of yours which you have just before you wake up. And the rest are a concealed mystery until too late they come true. I personally believe that dreams can predict the future because they have, in my case.